No, absolutely. Our aim is to work with the Nigerian government, and the Prime Minister highlighted issues of intelligence sharing and other areas, and I think that we will be led and guided by the Nigerian government as to where we can work and where we can partner, because this is very much about working with an ally, working with a partner, and doing things to tackle insecurity as a whole within the country.
And I mean, obviously, Israel is a staunch ally of the United States. I mean, if Mr. Trump was to decide to take some further action in Nigeria unilaterally, what would Israel's response be? I mean, I know it's a hypothetical situation.
Well, one, it's a hypothetical situation, and two, I think there's probably a better question to ask the American ambassador rather than the Israeli ambassador as to what the
well, the question is, what would Israel's response be?
Well, in a hypothetical, we'd have to see what the situation was. I couldn't tell you what our response is. What I can tell you is that we want to work with the Nigerian government to see what we can do to help and work with them to tackle insecurity across the country.
And how has the Nigerian government responded to Mr. Netanyahu's statement? I'm wondering if there's been any sort of behind-the-scenes diplomatic communication about this between you and the Tinubu administration?
Well, any communication behind the scenes will obviously remain behind the scenes. But as I said, Prime Minister Netanyahu has made our position clear, and so anything that we can do in those areas, and obviously when you're dealing with issues of intelligence and when you're issuing of information, it's not something that we're going to talk about publicly, because that would undermine the entire purpose of having a conversation about intelligence sharing.
But why would Mr. Netanyahu be talking about protecting Christians in Nigeria when peace remains elusive in his own backyard in Gaza? I mean, doesn't his statement seem contradictory given the ongoing Gaza conflict?
I don't think they're contradictory at all. What Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke about was Christians across the world. It wasn't only he spoke about Christians in Nigeria, he spoke about Christians across the world. And he highlighted the fact that Israel is the only country in the Middle East where the Christian population is growing. It's the only country in the Middle East where the Christian population is thriving. It's the only country in the Middle East where Christians have complete freedom of worship and freedom to do what they want. And I think that that was the point that the Prime Minister Netanyahu was making. And that's the critical point here, is that opportunity for Christians. You know, if you look at Israeli society, Christians are the most well-educated in Israel. They are the wealthiest. There are many, many things, but fundamentally, Christians have total freedom of religion. They can pray where they want. You know, we've just had New Year and Christmas, and you saw thousands of Christians in Jerusalem, walking through the Via Dolorosa, going to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I was actually in Jerusalem on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day, and we saw Christmas trees and Christmas lights and Christians having a wonderful, wonderful time in Jerusalem, totally free to express their religion, to express their identity, and it was amazing to see. It was amazing as an observant Jew to be able to see this in my home city of Jerusalem.